Well, hi everybody. Welcome back. Today we have Modern English Proficiency Level, episode number 26. Today we're going to be talking about feelings and emotions. What are emotions? Well, if you feel sad, you feel happy, that's an emotion. But first of all, let's take a look at the warm-up. Everybody repeat after me. Rory the Warrior and Roger the Worrier were reared wrongly in a rural brewery. Okay, one more time. Rory the Warrior and Roger the Worrier were reared wrongly in a rural brewery. Boy, a lot of words we can learn here. So first of all, Rory, this is just a name, a proper name. But he's Rory the Warrior. What is a warrior? Another way to say a soldier, somebody that fights, is a warrior. Okay? Now, Roger, another proper name, the Worrier. What's it mean if you're a worrier? It means you're always worried about something. You're always thinking about something and you can't stop thinking about it. You're worried about it, right? I worry, will I have enough money to eat next week? I worry, am I going to catch some awful disease that will kill me? That's worry about something, okay? They were reared. If you rear something or rear somebody, that means you bring them up, okay? You rear children. That means you teach them, you help them grow up. You can rear animals too. You can rear a pig, rear a chicken. Just means make them grow up, okay? So if you're reared wrongly, that means somebody teaches you the wrong way as you're growing up. Somebody makes you into a bad person. They rear you wrongly. And in a rural brewery, okay, two words, tough to say. First of all, rural, okay? What does rural mean? Rural would be the opposite of urban. Do you know what urban means? Well, if you live in a city, you live in an urban area. That means inside a city. Rural simply means in the countryside. That's rural, okay? So difference here, rural and urban, right? Rural and urban, okay? Opposites. Now, brewery. What is a brewery? Well, where do they make beer? Do you know where they make beer? The place they make beer is a brewery. They brew beer, okay? So that's a brewery. So a rural brewery would be a brewery, boy that's fun to say, in the countryside somewhere. So let's do the whole thing one more time. Rory the Worrier, no, let's start that over actually. Rory the Warrior and Roger the Worrier were reared wrongly in a rural brewery. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, let's look at the second one, okay? Play Simon Says, where everybody has to make emotional facial expressions when Simon says. Simon says, happy. Okay, one more time. Play Simon Says, where everybody has to make emotional facial expressions when Simon says. Simon says, happy. All right, what are we talking about here? Simon is a name, but this is the name of a game, okay? In the United States, we play a game called Simon Says. Usually just a game for young children. So, if we're playing that game, I'm going to say, my name is Simon, all right? And everybody in the classroom follow me. If I say, Simon Says, everybody smile. You all smile. If I say, Simon Says, touch your nose, everybody touches your nose. If I say, Simon Says, itch your head, everybody itches your head. Then if I say, now touch your mouth, now you do that, oh, you're wrong, because I didn't say Simon Says. Do you understand? If I say Simon Says, you do it. If I don't say Simon Says, you don't do it. Now the person that does something when I don't say Simon Says, you're out of the game. You don't get to play anymore. We keep playing until everybody's out. The last person gets to be the next Simon. Okay, that's Simon Says, just a game. Now, facial expressions. What are facial expressions? Well, an expression can be like you use some words in a certain way, like an idiom, but when we're talking about facial expressions, you express your emotions with your face, right? Facial. So this, I'm happy. This, I'm angry. That's a facial expression. When you look at somebody's face, you can see what they're feeling. Those are facial expressions, okay? And also, happy. What does happy mean? Happy, right? Everybody knows happy. So let's go over those. Let's go over that one more time. Play Simon Says, where everybody has to make emotional facial expressions when Simon says. Simon says, happy. Well, hi, everybody. Now it's time to do a little quiz about the words that we learned in the warm-up. My first question, what is a warrior? Tell me what a warrior is. Next question, what is a worrier? Next question, what does the word reared mean? If I say, I reared a duck, what am I talking about? Next question, what does the word rural mean? What do I mean by the word rural? Next question, what is a brewery? Tell me what a brewery is. Next question, what is Simon Says? Okay, class, now it's time to learn some interesting phrases. So today we're talking about feelings or emotions. What are emotions? Well, if you feel sad, if you feel happy, those are emotions, right? Feelings, same way, same thing, we're talking about emotions, right? Your feelings, okay? So let's do the first one. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, one more time. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, this one is pretty useful. Bummer, this is pretty new slang. If something is a bummer, it's something that makes you feel sad. Now, if we're all happy and we're having a party, yay, this is great, okay, so happy. But then somebody says, you know what, there's a war over in Iraq right now. You could say, oh, that's a bummer. Something that bums you out just makes you feel sad. You could say, that bummed me out also. Bummer, okay? So let's read that one more time. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. What are you going to do now? Okay, one more time. What are you going to do now? All right, what does this mean? Well, it can mean any number of things. It just means what are you going to do next, right? What are you going to do now? All right, so one more time. What are you going to do now? Okay, next one. Just take things day by day. Okay, one more time. Just take things day by day. Okay, good. A lot of people live this way. You don't have big future plans. You don't have a big plan for the future. You just live day by day. Just every day you wake up, you do what you have to do, and then wait for the next day, do what you have to do. You don't think about, next month I'm going to do this, or next week I'm going to do this. You could just say, no, I'm just living day by day. All right, so let's do that one more time. Just take things day by day. Now, take things just means to deal with things day by day. All right, let's do the next one. I'm bored to death. Okay, one more time. I'm bored to death. Now, if you're bored, that means you feel like, oh, there's nothing interesting happening. Oh, I feel like I'm so tired of everything. It's so boring, right? I'm bored to death. If you say I'm bored to death, if you add to death, it just means it's killing me. I'm so bored that it's killing me. I'm bored to death. Okay? So let's do that one more time. I'm bored to death. Okay, good. Let's look at the next one. I'm over the moon. Okay? One more time. I'm over the moon. All right, I've actually never heard this expression before, but maybe somebody would use this to mean that they're so happy. If you're over the moon, maybe you're really, really high. You're high up, right? So you're over the moon. It means you're really happy. Actually never heard this expression before, but maybe some of you have. So let's do it one more time. I'm over the moon. Okay, good. Let's look at the next one. I'm under the weather. Okay, very good. Say again. I'm under the weather. Okay, good. So if you're under the weather, that just means you're not feeling well. Remember, like you have a dark cloud following you everywhere you go, raining on your head. You're under the weather. It means you're not feeling well. It means you're feeling sick. I'm under the weather. So if somebody calls you on the phone and says, do you want to go out to eat tonight? You could say, no, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. It means I'm feeling a little sick. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like I usually do. It just means I'm under the weather. All right, class, time for a short quiz on the words we learned during the interesting phrases portion of our lesson. First question, what does the word bummer mean? If I say this is a bummer, what am I talking about? Next question, what does it mean to do things day by day? If you take your life day by day, what am I talking about? next question. What does it mean to be bored to death?
Hi, Sandra. What's the matter with Mona?
She's mixed up over a bad relationship. Her boyfriend is married.
I'm really sad to hear about that, but I understand perfectly. I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard.
They haven't broke up yet, Helen. She just found out about it.
I just don't know what to do.
If it makes you feel any better, Mona, sometimes my boyfriend really drives me up the wall, and I constantly have to tell him to stop irritating me.
But our relationship seemed to be going so good until yesterday. How do you think that makes me feel?
Pretty lousy, for sure. But today, I'm so happy. I found a new boyfriend.
You're not helping much, Helen.
Sorry. I just meant that things will get better. You're a young, beautiful, and intelligent woman, Mona. There'll be other men. New relationships.
I know what you're trying to say, Helen. What shall I do now?
I think you should end your relationship as soon as possible. It's better in the long run.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, folks, now let's take a look at the 10 sentences. So today we're talking about feelings and emotions. Let's learn some ways to express your feelings or your emotions. So let's do the first sentence. Number 1, I'm sorry to hear about that. Okay, one more time. I'm sorry to hear about that. Okay, what does it mean when you're sorry? If you're feeling sorry, maybe you know something bad happened to somebody. You can sympathize with them, right? You feel empathy, right? You can feel what they're feeling. You can feel sorry. So if I said, oh, you know what? Yesterday, my dog got run over by a car. And then the guy in the car picked up my dog, and he took him home, and he cooked him, and he ate him, and he wouldn't give me any to eat. Okay, then you could say, I'm sorry to hear about that. That just means I feel really sad for you. I'm sorry to hear about something. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. Number 2. I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard for both of us. Okay, one more time. I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard for both of us. Okay, so if you break up with somebody, that means you stop seeing them romantically. If you break up with your boyfriend, you break up, right? You go your separate ways. You break up with somebody. Your boyfriend, of course, you know what a boyfriend is. And if you say, it's been hard for us, it's been hard for me, it's been hard for both of us, that means emotionally it's been difficult. It's not been an easy time for you. It's been hard for you. So if it's been hard for both of us, wow, that means you're both sad about the breakup. Maybe you should both get back together again, probably. Okay? So let's read that sentence one more time. I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard for both of us. Okay, so remember, broke up. You stop seeing each other, okay? Number 3, the older I get, the happier I become with myself. Okay, so let's do that one more time. The older I become, actually, the older I get, the happier I become with myself. What's wrong with your teacher today? Okay, anyway, that just means as I grow older, the older I get, as I grow older, I get happier with myself. I start to like myself more. Maybe you like wrinkles, maybe you like gray hair, maybe you like yourself more when you get older. Okay? Let's read the next one. Number 4. After he lost his job, he became very depressed. Okay? One more time. After he lost his job, he became very depressed. Now after something happened. After I ate dinner, I wanted to take a nap, right? You can use it like that. After he lost his job, if you lose your job, that means you got fired, right? You lost your job. You can't work somewhere anymore. You lose your job. Now, he became very depressed. He became a soldier. He changed into something, right? He became depressed. That means he got sad. He became sad. So, depressed means sad, okay? Now, in this case, depressed, it just means all the time you feel sad, right? Just for not, well, in this case, there is a specific reason. He lost his job, so he got depressed. But depression can also talk about sadness for no specific reason, right? So let's do the sentence one more time. After he lost his job, he became very depressed. All right, good. Let's look at the next one. Number 5. Sometimes my boyfriend really drives me up the wall. Okay, one more time. Sometimes my boyfriend really drives me up the wall. Okay, so what's it mean if somebody drives you up the wall? Well, it means that you're so crazy you want to climb up the wall. I don't know why wall climbing is associated with craziness, but it is. So this just means somebody is driving you crazy if they drive you up the wall. You can also drive someone mad. You can drive someone bonkers. You can drive someone batty. All different ways to describe crazy or insane, right? If you're bonkers, if you're batty, if you're crazy, if you're driven up the wall, all these different ways can describe crazy. So, sometimes your boyfriend could drive you crazy. Sometimes your girlfriend could drive you crazy. Okay, just a different way to talk about being driven crazy if you get driven up the wall. Okay, so let's read that sentence one more time. Sometimes my boyfriend really drives me up the wall. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Wow, I can't believe I did that. Okay, one more time. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Wow, now this is lyrics to a song. If you ever saw the movie, what was that one with? Moulin Rouge. That's it. Okay, so there's a song in that movie that uses this phrase as the chorus. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Wow, that's fun to say, isn't it? You feel like you're pretty cultured if you can speak a little French, don't you? But what does this mean? It means, would you like to sleep with me? Do I have to spell that out for you? Why don't you ask your teacher what that means? Would you like to sleep with me? Okay, so let's read that one more time. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Wow, now I know some French too. Aren't I cool? Let's move on to the next one, number 7. How does that make you feel? Okay, one more time. How does that make you feel? All right, this is just a way to ask somebody what their feelings are about a subject, okay? I'm getting remarried and I'm going to marry your sister. How does that make you feel? Just want to know what you feel about a certain subject, okay? So let's read that one more time. How does that make you feel? Okay, good. Let's go on to the next one, number 8. I was so sad when I went through my 8th divorce. Okay, one more time. I was so sad when I went through my 8th divorce. I guess we're implying that divorces 1 through 7 were happy for you, weren't they? No, this just means, well, I was so sad. You can use this anyway. I was so sad when I found out that they closed my favorite restaurant because of the horrible, scary disease. Okay? I was so sad. It made me feel sad. Now, divorce. What is divorce? Well, it's the opposite of marriage. No, actually, it's not the opposite of marriage. It's what happens when you can't stay married anymore. You get a divorce. I guess the opposite of marriage would be not getting married in the first place, wouldn't it? But a divorce is when you can't live with anyone anymore. You get a divorce. You divorce them, okay? So my 8th divorce. This just means you've had 7 divorces already. This is your 8th one. So let's read the sentence one more time. I was so sad when I went through my 8th divorce. All right, excellent. Let's move on to the next one. Number 9. My most exciting moment was when I passed my bar exam. Okay, one more time. My most exciting moment was when I passed my bar exam. First of all, moment. What does moment mean? Just means a little piece of time. My happiest moment, just my happiest time of life, my happiest time in living, okay? When I passed, when I got a good grade, or when I made it through my bar exam. What is a bar exam? Well, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to take a very tough test called the bar exam, okay? It's the test a lawyer will take. So let's read this one more time. My most exciting moment was when I passed my bar exam. All right, excellent. Let's move on to the last one, number 10. I felt complete the moment I held my first son in my arms. Okay, one more time. I felt complete the moment I held my first son in my arms. What does it mean to feel complete? Well, remember the movie Jerry Maguire, right? You complete me, right? It means it makes your life complete. It makes your life full. It gives your life meaning. You complete me, okay? So maybe your son could complete you. Maybe some people feel that they're not complete. There's a hole in their life until they have children. So maybe holding your first son, and also in my arms. Hold something in your arms, like this, right? Hold a baby in your arms. So maybe that would complete your life. Maybe that would give your life some sort of meaning if you hold your son in your arms. So let's do that one more time. I felt complete the moment I held my first son in my arms. All right, let's go through these one more time for pronunciation. All right, the first one. I'm sorry to hear about that. Okay, one more time. I'm sorry to hear about that. Remember, this is a way to express sympathy. This means I feel bad that something bad happened to you. So one more time, I'm so sorry, or I'm sorry to hear about that. All right? Number 2, I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard for both of us. Okay, one more time. I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard for both of us. Now, recently means it just happened, right? In the past few days, the past few weeks. Recently. Broke up means you end a relationship, you break up with somebody. Oh, one more thing I'd like to talk about for broke up. You can break up. You can have a mutual breakup. That means both people in the relationship say, hey, it's time to see other people. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Or you could dump somebody. If you dump somebody, that means I say, I hate you. I don't want to be with you anymore. I want to get rid of you. Go away. Or you could get dumped. Maybe your girlfriend or your boyfriend says, I don't like you anymore. Go away. That's when one person breaks it up, okay? When one person breaks up the relationship, they dump somebody. Or you could have a mutual breakup where both people end a relationship at the same time. So let's read this one more time. I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and it's been hard for both of us, okay? Let's go on to number 3. The older I get, the happier I become with myself. Okay, one more time. The older I get, the happier I become with myself. Okay, so the older I get just means like, you know, as I get older and older and older. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Number 4. After he lost his job, he became very depressed. Okay, one more time. After he lost his job, he became very depressed. Remember, what does depressed mean? It means you always have a bad feeling. You always feel sad. That's depression, okay? So let's move on to the next one. Number 5. Sometimes my boyfriend really drives me up the wall. Okay, one more time. Sometimes my boyfriend really drives me up the wall. Remember, if you get driven up the wall, it means they drive you crazy. You go crazy, you get driven up the wall, okay? So let's say that one more time. Sometimes my boyfriend really drives me crazy. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. Number 6. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? All right, that's all I'm going to say about that one. I don't want to do that one again. This just means, would you like to sleep with me in French? On to the next one. Number 7. How does that make you feel? Okay, one more time. How does that make you feel? Well, if something makes you feel a certain way, it makes you feel happy, makes you feel sad. How does that make you feel? All right, number 8. I was so sad when I went through my 8th divorce. Okay, one more time. I was so sad when I went through my 8th divorce. Once again, a divorce. You end a marriage, you divorce. You don't see each other anymore. You break up a marriage. That's a divorce. On to the next one, number 9. My most exciting moment was when I passed my bar exam. Okay, one more time. My most exciting moment was when I passed my bar exam. What's a bar exam? Once again, it's the test you have to take if you want to become a lawyer. That's your bar exam. And you felt so sad. You feel sad. The opposite of happy is sad. Of course. Number 10. I felt complete the moment I held my first son in my arms. Okay, one more time. I felt complete the moment I held my first son in my arms. What's it mean to feel complete? It means before you had a hole in your life, right? You were empty. Now you're complete. You're all together, right? Everything is full. And if you hold somebody in your arms, well, you can hold a person in your arms too. Just give them a hug. Or hold your son in your arms like that. You cradle them in your arms, okay? So let's do that one more time. I felt complete the moment I held my first son in my arms. Okay, very good. On to the next part. Okay, guys, it's quiz time. So let's have a quiz on some of the words that we learned during the 10-sentence portion of today's lesson. Lesson, okay? So, question number 1. What does the word sorry mean? If I say, I'm so sorry, what does that mean? Next question. What does the phrase broke up mean? If I say I broke up with my girlfriend, what do I mean? Next question. What does the word depressed mean? question. If I say somebody drives me up the wall, what am I talking about? Last question. If I tell you, I felt complete, what does that mean? I feel complete. All right, guys, now it's time for a little humor. So today's joke is entitled Parrot Boy. Okay. There was an old man sitting on a bench outside a mall. A young man walked by who had spiked hair that was colored orange, yellow, green, and red. The man just looked at him. The young man said, "What's the matter, old man? Haven't you ever done anything crazy in your life?" And the old man said, "Well, actually I have. Once I got drunk and had sex with a parrot. I was just wondering if you were my son." That's funny. Anyway, so what are we talking about here? The old man is sitting outside a mall, short for shopping mall, right? You know what a shopping mall. Now the young man has spiked hair. If you have spiked hair, that means you put something in your hair to make it stick up. All your hair sticks up like spikes, okay? And it's colored orange, yellow, red, and green, all right? So the old man says, the young man asks him, "Haven't you done anything crazy? If you do something crazy, you do something stupid." And of course the old man has done something crazy. He got drunk and had sex with a parrot. All right, so he thinks maybe the son, or maybe the boy is his son. All right, anyway, on to the next part. Okay, now it's time for a little culture. So we're talking about emotions and feelings, and I would like to tell you that there are some differences between cultures when it comes to expressing emotions or feelings. China is a country that has more closed emotions, I believe, than most people in America. How many of you have ever given your father or your mother a hug? Well, maybe some of you have. How many of you have actually given your mom and dad a hug and a kiss before you go to bed? Well, that's what I used to do in my family when I was younger, because we express emotions a little more openly in the Western countries, like the United States. Now, in China, sometimes it's not like that. You know your parents love you, but maybe they're a little more closed with their emotions. They don't express it as much, or at least in the same kind of ways that we do in the West. They express it in different ways, maybe by buying you things, maybe by, helping you with something, but not so much in the open, like, "I love you, son," or something like that. Now, this is also the case in some other countries, too. My grandfather was of Norwegian descent, came from Norway, and also the emotions there were more under the surface. My grandfather actually wanted to shake my hand when I was a little boy instead of giving me a hug. Kind of strange for a little boy who always likes to hug people, and your grandfather wants to shake your hand. Very strange. But anyway, this is the case in many different countries. We express emotions in different ways, and we talk about our feelings in different ways too. Sometimes we just use a roundabout way to express our emotions or to show that we care for a person. Maybe here in China, if you really love somebody, you'd maybe just buy them a gift to express your emotions, or maybe just invite them to your house to eat dinner, or something like that, just to express that you like them as a person or that you're friendly with them. So anyway, different ways to express emotions. You can be more open or you can be more closed with your emotions. Everybody repeat after me. "Oh boy!" Okay, one more time. "Oh boy!" All right, now this is something you could say to express surprise or amazement. You'd say, "Oh boy," if something's really good. Like, "I just got a new shirt and it was really cheap and it's so beautiful. Do you like it?" And you could say, "Oh boy, it's great." Or, "I just got a brand new car and it was really cheap and it's white colored." And then you could say, "Oh boy, what a beautiful color," right? Just something to express amazement or excitement. You could say, "Oh boy." I could say, "I'm going to take you to dinner tonight and I'm going to pay." You could say, "What?" "Oh boy, yeah, I'm so excited." It just means something's really good and I'm excited about it. Oh boy, all right? So practice one more time. "Hey, there's a nice movie tonight and I'm going to take you there and I'm going to pay for it." "Oh boy." All right. Oh girl. But you could also say, okay, another way you could say this, "Oh wow." Have you heard wow before? W-O-W. I've seen this on signs in China actually. Sometimes if there's a sale at a store, they put on the wall, "Wow." Just means look at something. Wow. Oh boy. almost the same thing, right? Oh boy or wow, I just got a new car and it's white colored. Wow! Or I just got a new car and it's white colored. Oh boy! Just something's really good, right? You're excited or you're amazed. All right, so one more time. Oh boy! All right. Okay guys, so for today's good practice, I want you to get into groups of 2. And we want to, first of all, practice the interesting phrases. Practice saying, oh, that's a bummer. I'm bored to death. Okay, practice some of these. And then I want you to make a list of all the emotions or feelings Chinese people have. Okay? Make sure it's Chinese people. Don't tell me about other people because, you know, Chinese people are different than everybody else. No. We have all the same emotions here as we have in other places. But our book says we have to list Chinese emotions. Okay? So, list all these things, and also think about phrases in Western culture that we use to express emotion. Actually, think about Chinese ways to express emotions. I know you have some idioms you could say about emotion. Try to translate those literally into Western phrases, or try to find an equivalent in your book that means something like that. Are there some that don't translate? Are there some that we don't have in the West that you have here in the East? Okay, and then also, what do you say to a person who's sad? What do you say to try to make them feel better? What do you say to a person who's angry? What do you say to try to make them calm down? And what do you say when you're angry? So talk about these questions, make a list of all the different kinds of emotions you can have, get together with your partner, and go. Okay, for this role play, your teacher is going to have to do a little bit of preparation. What your teacher needs to do is write down, okay, first of all, we've listed different emotions, right, in the last role play. What I need you to do now is to write down these emotions on pieces of paper, okay? Now, after you've done that, give each person in the room a different piece of paper with a different emotion on it. And I want everybody to stand up, mingle around, talk to other people, but act out the emotion that is on your piece of paper. If you have a piece of paper that says angry, everybody you talk to, you should talk to them in an angry manner. If you're happy, you should be happy all the time, all right? So, get together, or actually, wait for your teacher to write these down. Maybe you can help your teacher write these on a piece of paper. Then hand these out and mingle around and practice these emotions. And have fun. Hi everybody, welcome to Modern English Proficiency Level. I'm going to be your teacher for these series of lessons, 1 through 36, and well, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself before we get going. My name is Jake Massey, alright? I'm from the United States of America. I was born in the state of Minnesota. I went to school for an English degree. I have a degree in English literature and a degree in communications. So pretty good degrees for English teaching. This is not exactly what I wanted to do.